Emmerdale's latest troublemaker, Dr Caitlin Todd, is finally caught off guard tonight as Vanessa Woodfield begins questioning whether their romance is moving too fast. Viewers have watched Dr Todd stay firmly in control for weeks, but Charity Dingle's repeated warnings may at last be starting to sink in. During Wednesday's episode, Charity makes one final emotional appeal to Vanessa, insisting that Todd should not be trusted. At first, Vanessa brushes off the concerns, believing Charity is simply acting out of bitterness because of their complicated past together. However, Charity's serious manner soon leaves Vanessa feeling uneasy. The confrontation takes place privately in the Woolpack toilets, where Charity tries to make Vanessa realize that Todd is not the woman she believes her to be. Charity explains that she truly wants Vanessa to be happy and eventually find lasting love again, but she strongly believes that Todd, the former boss who tormented Jacob Sugden, is not the right person for her. As Vanessa still appears reluctant to listen, Charity makes one final request. Just promise me you won't mention this conversation to Caitlin. Seeing Charity so frightened by someone is unusual, and Vanessa quickly notices how shaken she seems. Later, back in the pub, Todd suggests the idea of a romantic weekend getaway together. Trying to avoid committing, Vanessa responds that work at the vet's is hectic and suggests postponing the trip for a few weeks instead. When Todd keeps pressing the issue, Vanessa finally stands her ground. She points out that their relationship is still very new and questions whether going away together is happening too soon. Vanessa suggests they should spend more time learning about each other before making big plans, insisting they take things slowly for now. These scenes arrive while the pressure continues mounting for Charity, as Todd's deadline edges closer. Todd recently demanded £100,000 in exchange for keeping quiet about the secret that Jacob and Sarah Sugden are not baby Leyla's biological parents. Although Todd assured Charity she would leave the village once she received the cash and claimed she had no intention of staying with Vanessa, her unpredictable behaviour means nothing can be guaranteed. Cammy's heartbreaking secret is finally exposed in Emmerdale, and the truth changes everything. Charity Dingle begins asking an important question this week. Who really is Cammy Hadik? When looking back, very little is actually known about him. He first arrived in the village causing trouble, stealing quad bikes and dealing in dodgy goods. It quickly became obvious that Cammy was no stranger to breaking the rules, but beyond that, his background has remained completely unclear. Now, the secrets he has worked so hard to hide are starting to catch up with him. Actor Shebs Mia teased that Cammy finds himself trapped with nowhere left to turn. Part of the mystery surrounding him leads Aaron to suspect he may be responsible for the recent fires at the barn, although the accusation does not entirely add up. At the same time, Cammy's romance with Belle Dingle has recently been rekindled, and things between them have seemed sweet on the surface. However, Belle slowly starts realizing that something about him feels off. She notices she knows almost nothing about his life, and whenever she tries to ask questions, Cammy avoids giving proper answers. As Eid approaches, Belle sees an opportunity to learn more about his family, but Cammy becomes visibly uncomfortable during the conversation. Later, when Aaron messages him about another suspicious fire, Cammy quickly leaves, and Belle notices how nervous he appears. Meanwhile, Aaron and Robert Sugden remain deeply worried about the mystery arsonist targeting them. While discussing the situation in the pub, Aaron comments that Cammy looks exhausted, leading him to wonder whether guilt could be keeping him awake at night. Belle then pushes further by asking to meet Cammy's family, but the suggestion proves too much for him. Losing his temper, he sharply tells her to stay out of his business. The sudden aggression immediately unsettles Belle, especially because of her painful past with abuse. Speaking about Cammy's hidden struggles, actor Shebs Mia explained that the character has experienced significant hardship throughout his life. He also suggested that Cammy's pride prevents him from showing vulnerability or admitting weakness to anyone around him. Belle becomes convinced that Cammy is hiding something major. At one point, she even considers snooping through his phone, although guilt stops her before she goes through with it. Still, her instincts continue telling her there is more to his story. And she is right. Away from the village drama, Cammy is secretly bedding down in a barn, surrounded by his belongings and sleeping bag. The devastating truth is finally revealed. Cammy is homeless. The discovery hints at an even deeper and more painful backstory yet to come. Shebs Maya explained that Cammy has often felt isolated, particularly as a South Asian young man living within a mostly white rural farming community. Because of this, Cammy desperately tries not to appear weak or different from everyone else. Later, Aaron and Robert receive information about the suspected arsonist and rush back to the farm, only to find Cammy holding a petrol can and lighter. Convinced they have caught the culprit, they confront him immediately. However, Cammy insists he was actually planning to burn his own car. Robert refuses to believe the explanation and lashes out, forcing Aaron to intervene. During the chaos, Cammy manages to escape. But when another blaze breaks out soon afterwards, Aaron and Robert contact the police, and Cammy is quickly arrested. Teasing what lies ahead, Shebs Mia explained that viewers are about to see a completely different side to Cammy. He revealed that the character's confident mask slowly slips away, exposing someone far more vulnerable underneath. According to the actor, the storyline will continue growing darker and emotional as fans finally learn the reasons behind Cammy's behavior and troubled past. Joe Tate's true intentions towards Dawn Taylor are finally exposed in Emmerdale, and the outcome is far more emotional than anyone expected. During yesterday's episode, it became clear that Joe had discovered exactly what Dawn had been plotting behind his back. Naturally, it seemed obvious that revenge would follow, especially given Joe's recent behavior. However, his actual response turns out to be surprisingly heartbreaking rather than cruel. Dawn has been determined to destroy Joe after uncovering the shocking extent of the damage he has caused across the village this year. One of his first targets was Robert and Victoria Sugden, whom he blackmailed into handing over their farmland. Joe threatened to report Victoria to the police over her involvement in their brother's death earlier this year if they refused. Moira Dingle also suffered because of Joe's ruthless schemes. In his desperate attempt to gain control of Butler's farm, he framed Moira for human trafficking. The situation became even worse when the bodies of Celia and Anya were discovered on the farm, resulting in Moira being accused of double murder and sent to prison. Even after achieving his goal, Joe continued making enemies. Once he had taken over Butler's farm, he arranged for Holly Barton's memorial tree to be cut down, a move that disgusted many villagers. Although Dawn repeatedly questioned Joe about the chaos surrounding these events, he constantly denied any involvement. Eventually, she uncovered the truth for herself and decided she would ruin him completely. Dawn believed Joe had no idea about her revenge scheme. He continued showering her with money for a business opportunity and even organized trust funds for Clemmy, Lucas, Evan, and the new Tate baby. At first, it appeared Joe's feelings for Dawn had blinded him to everything happening around him. In reality, he had known about her betrayal all along. In today's episode, Graham Foster questioned Joe about how he intended to deal with Dawn after learning the truth. Emmerdale airs on weekday evenings at 8 p.m. on ITV1 and is also available for streaming on ITVX.